brain damage. More like train damage. Welcome to Sync Floyd, the podcast where we watch every movie ever made to see if it syncs up with Pink Floyd's 1973 magnum opus, The Dark Side of the Moon. Ho ho ho, my name is Gareth Blackler, and joining me, we're all aboard on this guy. It's James Barron. Hello.
Chugga chugga woo woo. It's me, James Barron. I'm the train, apparently, that you're all aboard. I'm like the Totoro cat bus of podcast hosts, and that I'm vehicular in nature. How are you, Gareth?
I'm doing well. We've just talked extensively off mic about the different sodas I've been drinking lately.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yep. You are chock full of your fuel required to get you to the destination.
Yeah.
Just podcast glory? Don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We'll find out.
Hey, James.
Hey.
We've just watched The Polar Express,
Yeah.
Robert Zemeckis, 2004, and I've got to know, how do you feel about trains?
Oh man, I'm okay with trains. I've taken trains several times in my past, and oftentimes I will try and get the drunkest I possibly can be allowed to be on a train, just because it's like a small. You're stuck on a train. There's no. You can sort of like look around. You may be able to. There may be like an observation platform, but like. You just keep drinking. That's my strategy, and eventually, they're not going to throw you off a train.
I mean, they're more likely to do that than a plane, or
it's true.
Or a
It's
boat.
true. But like, I feel like I've not got to that stage yet. But that's how I get through my train journeys, just crippling alcoholism.
May I ask, what was the drunkest you've been on a train, and what was the destination?
Pretty drunk. I was coming back from a holiday, a Christmas holiday, on my own personal Polar Express. But I'm heading towards the South Pole because I was going from Blenheim back to my hometown of Christchurch with my cousin, and we were going beer for beer as we went home, and we were trying to count all the sheep that we saw in aggregate, which is a mistake in New Zealand. Because there are so many. We've got at least 10 sheep for every person on our beautiful island country. So, it was very difficult to count, but we were doing our best. Just drinking a lot, hanging out with my cousin. He fell asleep towards the end of the trip, and so I got like a couple of beers ahead of him, but it was all good.
You took this as an opportunity to like sneak ahead instead of like a break. I love that.
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint, Gareth. That's the key. When you're on that train journey. What about you? How have you enjoyed trains in your life?
Oh yeah, I've enjoyed them. I took the same one, the Christchurch to Blenheim one, and then onward to Wellington once via train then boat.
Yeah.
All I remember from that is I did some Digimon fan art, because I was a kid. This wasn't recently.
Okay.
Although
it could have been.
Equally likely.
Yeah.
And another, like, someone, I would have been, 8, and this person who was 12, which is like an adult to you when you're 8.
Holy shit.
Looked over and was like, oh, cool, you're drawing a Digimon. And I was like, how did you know it was a Digimon? Thinking we'd made, like, amazing friends. And she was like, you've written Digimon underneath it. And
got you roasted by your own, hoisted by your own petard there, Gareth. Amazing.
Yeah. And ever since then, I've trusted my audience a little more.
Yeah. All you have to do to draw a Digimon is just start with jeans, and you add a gun, and then you're basically 35% of the way done. Like, just draw some shapes, and then you're set, I think.
Yeah. Gun-shaped Mon. Levi Gun-shaped Mon is one of the hit ones.
Sure.
But we're not here to talk about Digimon, despite the fans needing it. We're here to talk about that's what the fans want. What they need is to hear us talk about Polar Express.
Robert Zemeckis.
Tom Hanks. How do you feel about it? Have you seen it before? What's the story?
I'd not seen it before, so I did the classic double watch today where I treated myself to a raw and uncut version of the Polar Express, and then matched it with the Floyd immediately after. It's all right. It's like it's a very weird film in that it's coming out like early 2000s, and it's famously the first like fully live action rotoscope to 3D film. So like live performance actors, and then they get they CGI'd over them to create these other characters. And I don't know, was this the first? It was one of the ones that popularized it. I feel like they were doing this with Lord of the Rings, but they may have been shortly after. I don't know. I feel like it was before.
Yeah, Guinness World Records say this is the first one to be fully motion captured.
Okay, fully, sure. Yeah, because Lord of the Rings had old mate Gollum earlier in. But anyway, so that technique is not fully developed to look great in this movie.
No.
I would say that most of the time it's this like very awful uncanny valley where you see like human sort of interactions, but the CGI animation is not quite keeping up and not holding its end of the bargain up really. So it's sort of like watching a lot of aliens on screen for a long time. But it's like, if you get past that, I feel like it's a fairly reasonable Christmas story. It's okay. Some of the lessons I have issues with, but anyway, we'll get there. What are your thoughts, Gareth? How did you find this film? And you suggested it as well, so.
Yeah. I'd never seen it. I suggested it for the maximum Tom Hanks that it provides. I knew going in that it was supposed to look creepy. I didn't find it that creepy.
Yeah, neither.
Yeah, I think it was just, you just look at it and you're like, oh, it's CGI that's not there. Maybe at the time, like when CGI wasn't, that was the peak CGI and it was still creepy. Or still off. It might have seemed creepier because it was closer.
Yeah,
it felt closer, but now we've seen closer and creepier CG since. So it just felt like watching like pretty good video game graphics. I think there's a couple characters, mostly Billy, which the CGI people just did dirty. Billy, something's wrong there. They've mapped his face like too small or like too flat.
Yeah, it's got a different face on a gangly puppet body more so than anything else. Yeah. Had issues with Billy, but but yeah, we'll talk about him. Yeah.
How did you find all 6 Tom Hanks in this film?
I don't know if I could count them all off the top of my head, because I know that he plays, like, obviously the conductor. He plays the hobo guy. Arguably, Ebenezer Scrooge puppet counts, even though that is performed by hobo guy. He plays Santa Claus, and does he play... He plays like the narrator, like the version of, like the older version of the hero character.
Yeah.
Does he play his dad as well?
I think, he plays the dad. And he's
fucking weird.
Playing the boy in some scenes. So the voice of the boy is the main kid from Spy Kids, who, as we all know, is now married to Meghan Trainor.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the motion capture for the boy is Tom Hanks, except some of it is done by Josh Hutcherson from the Hunger Games movies.
Whoa.
And I'm so proud. I can tell you scene for scene when it's Hanks and when it's Hutcherson.
Wow.
There's some scenes where you're like, that's my boy. That's my boy from the Hunger Games right there. I'm so proud of myself. That's the guy from Zathura.
Yeah, that's Zathura. I haven't thought about Zathura in way too long. Oh my god!
Based on a book by the same author as the Polar Express, Zathura.
Whoa, nice!
Yeah, and Jumanji.
Nice link. Love that. So you can tell beat for beat. I feel like that's definitely a game you could play along at home.
Yeah,
where you're trying to figure out the Hanks or Hutchinson. And we could have like an on-screen indicator whenever that's happening or something. I don't know. Oh, that's brilliant.
Listeners, email us a screenshot from this film and I'll email back whether it's Hanks or Hutchinson.
Please do. It's just like a big photo of the conductor's face, and you're like, I mean, guys.
It's a scene from like Sleepless in Seattle, and I'm like,
Please send us screenshots from Sleepless in Seattle. Please do that. Screenshots in Seattle.
@gmail.com.
All right. Let's talk about the Polar Express, eh?
Yeah.
We're running late, Gareth. My watch that only has 4 sections on it is telling me that it's time to podcast. All right. Yeah. Let's do it. All aboard, baby. Speak to me. Opening titles. We got the title card drops like immediately. We're still in Speak to Me, which is rare. And we're in like a snowy ass Michigan, middle of America street. Very unexciting. And we get like, it's snowy, it's Christmas Eve, baby. And Tom Hanks giving us narration about like remembering a time when he was this young Hutchinson. Yeah, potentially. Hutchinson in Potentia. And listening for the sound of Santa's sleigh as a young boy. But he wants to hear it, but he doesn't believe in it, is the deal. He's on the cusp of not believing in Santa is the idea. But we'll get more about that soon. His eyes do snap open as soon as we go into breathe. And when I saw that, I was like, oh no. Is this gonna be the perfect sync? When it happens that early, I'm like, oh, okay. Like we've got like I immediately sat up in my chair and started paying more attention, you know?
Yeah.
So
it's hard to then fight that bias when you get a couple really good early syncs. You have to then like calm yourself, maybe take a break and come back to it fresh. Because it's easy to then give yourself confirmation bias.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I'm speaking in second person because that doesn't happen to us. That'll happen to a lesser podcaster, non-scientist,
a Hutchinson to our Hanks, if you will. So he goes and looks outside to like see Santa, I guess, or like look for evidence of Santa, but no one's out there except the little snowman friend who's facing away from you. I first thought the snowman just had no face, and I was kind of terrified. But then I realized that snowmen are usually built to like face the street, which makes a lot more sense. We do see him later, so I was thrilled to see that on my watch later on.
I love the idea of someone who's selfish with their snowman, though, and they make it face them. So it's like, I get to enjoy him, not
it's
you.
It's for me to look at from my window, my bedroom window. And then all the other people have to deal with faceless snowman with his backwards shirt. I don't know. It's kind of wild that the snowman has oven mitts as well. Like, he's just got stick hands. He doesn't need them. What's he baking?
If he goes near an oven, he's going to melt.
Exactly.
The mitts will provide no help.
Exactly. He needs a full body mitt. Anyway.
Arguably, the arms are the only part that doesn't need the mitt.
It's very true. So I noted here that this is like when I first started seeing that the animation was whack as heck for this. Just like people moving around looks wrong. Like things like it's really hard to explain because it's a full rotoscope effect. So they've recorded a live action sequence of this with probably pretty tight like cinematography and like framing, and then match that for a shot in full CGI, which is a lot of fucking work and money going into this. But it just looks weird. It makes for a strange effect. Like this can be done well. It's just that it's really tough to balance the too close to human movement. It works a lot better when you're dealing with human elements in the same scene. But when it's full CGI like this, you really run the risk of things looking either too close to being real or not stylized enough, you know? Like, it's real tricky. I feel like for the most part, this movie's pretty okay at it. It's just that the faces look wrong. You know, like all the action sequences I'm pretty into.
The action and like camera work, if you'd call it
Yeah.
that. I'm not really sure what you call it for animation, is amazing. Like,
It's still camera work, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Almost, I mean this in the nicest way. This would make a way better, like, 4D roller coaster experience
Oh
where
my
you're
God.
watching a screen on a moving chair than it does. Yeah.
Yeah, you read my mind. I was going to get into that when we get into the roller coasters, but you are spot on with that description. Anyway, he goes down to check for Santa's arrival. There's no presents under the tree. Sees he sees a shadow of Santa on the ground, but this turns out to be his father bringing his sister to bed. Which is it upset me that they were perfectly creating the shadow, because it just sort of morphs. Like, what arrangement of people do you have to be in to like create a full Santa outline like that? It kind of weirded me out. The more I thought about it, I was like, what the fuck?
His beard-shaped sister.
Exactly. But anyway, she's getting carried off to bed and is saying that, her brother's been telling her all this stuff about Santa not being real, and that it couldn't be real because the sleigh would be too heavy and all this stuff, etc. And
she raises a fascinating point where she's like, the sleigh would have to be as big as a cargo ship, which, I mean, has anyone considered that maybe Santa is really big?
Whoa, just a huge boy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Like, he just reaches across countries and drops off little presents, sprinkles them down our chimneys.
Yeah, he's this enormous polar yeti who is 200 feet tall and just delivers presents with a bazooka from passing overhead. I don't know. Possible.
Right? I like it.
Right?
Truth is out there, folks.
Yeah. Spot him if you can. But yeah, so he's watching through the keyhole for this. We do get a nice going through the keyhole shot for this, which I enjoyed. And then goes over to his dresser where he keeps a fucking dossier of gathered evidence that Santa isn't real. Various newspaper clippings and things like that, a magazine. Bizarre. And then he checks his encyclopedia, and we get this crazy shot of him reading the encyclopedia from the book's perspective with the words floating on the screen. They use this a lot. This kind of either looking from below glass or ice looking up at the character. They use that kind of shot quite a bit, and I think it's really cool. But it's,
I like it.
It's very it's strange to do it from a book, but I'm okay with it. So he reads the North Pole is devoid of life, and it's oh, okay. He runs off to bed because he hears his parents coming to check on him, and they are talking amongst themselves, thinking that he's asleep, saying it might be the last year that he believes, and it's an end to the magic is how they describe it, which is pretty dark, I guess. But anyway, his eyes snap open when they say that as well. So he closes his eyes and goes to sleep for a bit, and then he wakes up, and it's now 5 minutes to midnight as he checks his clock, and it wakes up to the sound of a train coming through, rattling away. Now, I live very close to a train track, and have grown up most of my life in a similar kind of situation. And it doesn't happen like this. It's too much. There's too much movement to be there is a fair bit of rattling around. You can definitely hear the train, but boy howdy, this is very seriously loud. I guess he's in the middle of suburban America where you wouldn't expect a train to be coming through, but I don't know. Seemed a bit much.
It does work really well to On the Run by Pink Floyd coming in, though.
It sure does. Yeah. It as soon as, because we're in On the Run for this, the radiator lets out a burst of steam like a train engine. Very scary. Someone needs to fix that radiator. And then there's light flying by the window, and he like runs out to the street to investigate. And as he does so, he tears a hole in his dressing gown pocket, which will become important. He just also is keeping a bunch of fucking marbles in his pocket for no apparent reason. While, like, who does that?
They're a sleeping marble.
I guess so. But yeah, he goes out there, and as the crash sounded on the run comes in, this huge train is revealed with the fog like sliding off of it, or like the steam, I suppose. Is it a steam locomotive? It's a coal locomotive, right? I don't know.
I think you still call that a steam one?
Smoke?
Oh.
Don't know.
Maybe if we weren't too busy getting drunk on trains and paid some attention.
Yeah.
To the train.
Yeah. I don't have to drive the train. It's fine.
That's true.
Yeah. Imagine that. You're riding the train, and then an engineer runs down and is like, "Can anyone drive the train? We're going to crash."
Literally everyone who can drive it better than you can't do it, so it's you, the drunk man.
Oh, no.
I'd be sure the person slightly less able to drive a train than me, I'll trust them more than I can trust myself. Like,
absolutely.
If it's just me and a child left, that child gets to drive the train.
Yeah,
don't worry
absolutely.
about
it looked like complicated, but not too bad. So, anyway, yeah, so we get the crash sound, and then we get Tom Hanks number 2 coming off here, the conductor, 2/3. I can't believe that he plays the kid. That's wild.
That's strange. He was going to play everything, and then they started, and it was just going to be too exhausting for him. So, luckily.
And the audience. Man.
And also considering, like, some of the characters in this, he dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
In, retrospect by not playing some of them. So
yeah, but still, Jesus. Anyway, so he gets the conductor gets off the train, and he's got a big old mustache, and he's all about being on time. That's like his whole deal. He sort of like goads this young hero boy to come aboard. To take the plunge. It's like classic hero's journey shit where he's like, oh no, I don't want to, I'm scared. And then he's like, well, suit yourself. And then the train starts taking off. And the little kid, the last minute, decides to jump on. They're riding away, and the little snowman waves farewell, which I liked. It's fairly simple sequence. There is like a sort of vaguely sinister moment from Tom Hanks. I was looking out for these where like he leans in real close to this kid and is like, I would think about climbing aboard if I were you. And he's just a bit too close and just a bit too mustachioed for my liking.
It's as if it's like, get on this train, or you've got a nice family.
Oh, you're gonna regret it. Yeah. Get on the train, kid. It ain't good. But we get on board, and there's lots of kids in their PJs on this train, which they're all in PJs. They all got woken up at midnight. They're singing the theme song to the Polar Express. Vaguely here, we hear it in full later, but it's just this. They're all like singing and running around this train cabin. I instantly got anxiety seeing this scene, just seeing like a train cabin full of children. I was like, shit. Didn't love that.
You're just imagining, you're settled in for a 6-hour train ride and you're stuck on that car.
Oh, that's my personal hell. Put me in the in the other cabin that is full of like discarded gross puppets over the children. Absolutely. Anyway, there's a couple of these kids in particular do look terrifying. We've got our female protagonist, the hero girl. I'm noting here now that no one has character names in this except for one character who inexplicably does. But everyone else is just archetypes, or it's just never mentioned. I think when the hero gets on the train, he is shown a clipboard that has his name on it or like some information on him, and he's just like, "Yep, that's me," but we don't see it.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know what the choice is there, but it makes the podcast harder for us. And that,
yeah. I suppose it's being based on a children's book, and it was probably just all first-hand perspective. So
I guess so.
They didn't have like a reason.
But fucking ask people their names. It's only polite. God damn. Anyway, so we've got the hero girl who just like sort of like creepily stares and smiles at the hero kid here. She kind of freaked me out at first instance, but she's okay in the end. And then we have the worst character, know-it-all kid, who is just insufferable. He's a like fully grown man doing the voice for this kid, and it's the like high nasally, I know everything, that voice, but like to the nth degree and constant. He is worming his way into this film at any given opportunity, and I can't stand this guy. Yeah.
Every time he's not on screen, he's tweeting at a podcast to tell them what they got wrong in their joke.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's just the worst, and all of his little facts suck. I'm full of contempt for this character, Gareth. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
He has zero redeeming qualities.
Oh, he's got nice glasses and a nice haircut, but that's just because those are my glasses and haircut.
Whoa, I don't think you have the same haircut. You have the same glasses for sure, but I don't think you have the same hair.
Okay, thank you.
I think you're safe. This is not a young Gareth Blackler on screen that I hold such contempt for. I promise you that.
I was a know-it-all as a kid. I just didn't have any of the facts correct.
No.
Which is the worst feeling. Like, if you're a kid of the 90s, you're raised on media that, like, has really smart, precocious kids always dunking on adults.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're not that intelligent, it just turns you insufferable.
Yep. I hear that. Oh, man. Yeah. I think, potentially I hate this kid because I see so much of myself in him and that we both have annoying nasal voices, but I don't know.
Hey, nah.
Anyway, we'll get much more than we can stand of that boy. So it's fine. We'll talk about him then. But yeah, they all just sort of hanging out, and they look outside to this department store as they're going past. Sort of the equivalent in my town is called Ballantyne's. Where they have like Christmas windows set up with little robots moving around, showing like Santa's workshop or whatever.
I think the famous American one is Macy's. I think it's the equivalent.
UK would be like Harrods. That kind of thing.
Auckland has Smith and Co.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
We've all got one.
Yeah.
We've all got them. Who needs them?
They're so expensive.
Yeah, they are. But anyway, so the hero agrees with you because he looks over and sees Santa bending over and the telltale clockwork gear coming out of his back, and he's like, man, this Santa stuff's bullshit. He just like sneers in this like such a little shitty kid way. It's like, man, goddamn, you're on like a magic train right now, kid. Settle down.
That's the thing. This is probably jumping ahead, but his whole arc is believing. Yeah. But he's surrounded by actual proof.
Yeah, so full magic and proof. And it's proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. And he still doesn't believe by the end. It's fucking nuts. But anyway, we'll get there. So the conductor comes around and punches people's tickets. They magically produce tickets from their pockets without like noticing that they're there. Pull them out of there. Again, we note that Hero Boy has a big hole in his pocket. Will become important. So he gets the letters B and E punched into his ticket, and it's like he's like, what's that? And then the smart-ass kid he comes over and starts popping off about getting an LE punched into his card, and he's like, "What does that mean?" Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it's all will be revealed. I did kind of like this idea. It's just that it's like not executed perfectly. I would say, but I think it's quite cute how it's done. But anyway,
yeah.
We stop outside a lone house in the middle of nowhere to pick up a little lonely boy kid who has no friends out here. He's wearing like a fucking smock. He looks like he's like walked like. So I thought this kid looked like young Anakin Skywalker from Episode 1 the whole time. And this little brown smock that he's wearing is only helping me think of that, like the desert planet.
Oh my gosh,
that he's from. But regardless, he is surrounded by snow and magic all the time. So I just can't help imagine that he's going home to fucking Watto. That's why
Watto.
he's so upset.
Yeah. You would be. You'd have no time for Christmas if you had to deal with Watto all the time.
Annie, you've been on the Polar Express, Annie. Oh my god.
Oh, crossover we need, Disney.
Polar Express. Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. Oh my god. The Phantom Menace. Incredible.
The Menace is the bloody glasses kid. I also thought he looked quite a lot like Dewey from the first season of Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, super young Dewey, where he's like basically silent in those early seasons. Yeah,
and a little bit like a backup character in the like PlayStation 1 Harry Potter game.
Whoa, okay, I like that.
Yeah. Only when they stop trying with Billy does he look like that, but then
little
stop
Billy.
trying with him quite a lot, so that's all good.
Billy boy. But yeah, he gets picked up. He gets like basically the exact same spiel that our hero got, which I quite enjoyed. That's like the train conductor has this whole like thing that he goes through to get these kids on board this magic train. But yeah, it's the same every time. I thought that was quite clever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we finish up time as he decides to get on board the train, like again last minute, starts running very jankily. He looks like a marionette trying to get onto this train, and they pull on the emergency brake. The hero boy gets up to stop the train to let the kid on, and he hops on there, and the conductor comes back fucking furious, like full Tom Hanks rage coming through. Like he has it. He's still got it on tap. You know, this absolute terror that can take over at any time.
That only Pink Floyd know is bubbling under the surface of Tom Hanks at all times.
Yeah, man's got a hair trigger here, even on this magic train.
Yeah,
he's just obsessed with being on time. Anyway, he wants to find out who pulled the emergency brake, and the fucking smartass kid immediately dobs our hero in, because of course he does. They explain, the little girl explains that it pulled the brakes so that the little kid could get on, little Billy boy, and he's like, oh well, that's all right then, all good. We've got a schedule to keep, but got to get the people on the train. And so then he goes over to the front, and they calls for refreshments to be served. The hot chocolate sequence. It's not the hot chocolate I was hoping for, the band Hot Chocolate. It's in fact a full rigmarole of waiters coming out with a large brass machine distributing hot chocolate that looks so unappetizing, just by the sheer, by the CGI. It just looks like brown sludge. And the fact that they chose to shoot it up in the air, I get that it's supposed to be this really cool, magical, acrobatic thing, but it just looks gross. And then you see these weird, vaguely alien kids drinking it and getting chocolate mustaches. And you're like, no, there's nothing good happening here.
Yeah. All the waiters as well have the same face, and
Yeah.
yet they're like one of the only characters where there's no repeats. They're all played by new people.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, I think to get the dancing.
Okay,
But,
sure.
yeah.
I got strong Cats 2019 energy from this whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard the like synthesizers of Jellicle Cats over Great Gig in the Sky in my head. It was a very alarming experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. Transcendent, but in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Oh man, shout outs to Skimble Shanks the Railway Cat, who no doubt loves this film.
He's watching this every Christmas. He's watching this on Easter.
He's watching it on Easter.
Yeah.
Oh god. Incredible. I love him. Love him so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're having this really gross hot chocolate, the dirty sludge, and yeah, the hero girl saves some for the little nervous kid in the back, because he's in like a different compartment all on his own for no good reason. I think just because he's shy. But yeah, she saves him some hot chocolate like under her seat, and goes to take it to him, and fucking asshole kid is like, I'm gonna get crueler as I go. He's like, oh, you can't go back there without an adult. It's the rules. And so immediately the conductor comes back and helps her over there, takes her over there. And as she leaves, our hero boy notices that she left her ticket on her seat. Now, important. He could have just held on to it here. There's no real reason that he has to go chasing after her and give it back to her right fucking now. She's coming back here, like after, like in maybe less than a minute. She'll be back. I guess it's like little kid logic, being like, oh shit, she needs a ticket. That's like super important. But, oh man, it's just, if you'd waited like literally 30 seconds, this next sequence would not have happened.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah, so he picks up this little ticket and goes to give it to her. But he leaves the carriage and it like flies out of his hand because of the fluttering wind. And we get a full fucking journey for this ticket as we go out of Great Gig and into money for this sequence. Because this sequence cost probably a lot.
It's also a perfect metaphor for money, to watch just a golden piece of paper fly with no purpose throughout nature, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And miraculously survive all sorts of things, overcoming nature, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's flying all over the fucking place. We've got it lands on the snow floor. It gets like jostled by a pack of wolves.
Yes, that's right.
And then it gets caught in the beak of an eagle, a bald American eagle, who wants to feed it to its eaglet, its little baby.
Which again, this would just happen in the music video to Money by Pink Floyd.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it tries to eat it, but spits it up, and then it rolls into a big snowball, and then somehow gets out of that, and then floats back into the train carriage behind the conductor, and pins itself against a grate. And we are watching it pinned against this grate as the conductor in the background is asking the girl for her ticket, and she doesn't have it. I did like the framing of that. I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah.
Like, everything else up until that was like, I didn't need it. I really didn't.
It's a lot like, you know, Bobby Z and Tom Hanks didn't understand why people liked Forrest Gump, and they were like, they just loved that feather scene, so we're going to do that.
Okay.
But there'll be an eagle and a wolf and a golden ticket.
I mean, when you put it like that, it sounds great, but, you know, anyway, she gets she's trying to get her ticket checked, but can't find it. And the hero kid admits that it was him who lost the ticket. And it's like, oh, shit. And he tries to transfer his ticket to her. He tries to give up his ride on the magic train for her because it was his fault. And the conductor's fury erupts and he's like, no, those tickets are not transferable. And like hands it back to him with shaking fists. And yeah, it's very scary. And she gets taken to the back of the train where fucking smart-ass kid is saying that she'll be thrown off the back and that's standard procedure. It's like, shut up, dude. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Unless we just missed seeing a kid get thrown off before our hero joined the train. Like,
oh, shit. Maybe it is standard procedure. Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's not what we want.
No.
Oh, God. What was the movie that we watched where someone got thrown off the back of the train? It was fairly recent. Oh, God. I chose it.
There was Train and House.
No, we're further back than that. It was... the listeners will tell us. You know the one. It was the old movie. It was good. Regardless.
Dodoy. It was Double Indemnity.
Double Indemnity.
Made a note, like, oh no, just like in Double Indemnity.
Dodoy Indemnity. That's the one. Thank God. I'm very tired, listeners. I'm so sorry. Anyway.
Old conductor's just trying to collect some, like, he's actually got a scheme with the girl to collect some, like, wicked insurance money.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
It's all got it together, yeah. It's like, and then we'll go up on the roof of the train, and then there'll be the hobo, and he'll be voiced by me, and she's like, what are you talking about?
It's all standard insurance, don't worry.
It's all in the contracts.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, it's a lot. So again, he's like, the little kid is going to chase after him, and he's like, no, I've got to stop this. I better stop the train or whatever. And as he goes to stop the train again with the emergency brake, he finds the ticket against this grate and runs after them with it, being like, it's all fine, I found the ticket. He like leaps across where he lost the ticket before between the carriages, and Billy is very unhelpful when he asks him where to go, and he goes up onto the roof because he sees like a silhouette of them, but he can't get close enough because he's fucking on top of a moving train in a snowstorm. And he's like maybe 8. I don't know how old this kid is, but yeah, and he's just walking along the roof of this train. He sees some light up here, and meets the hobo guy, this little homeless man who we briefly saw, I think, under the train, through the sequence with the eagle and with the wolves and stuff. I just didn't mention him. I think he's down there as well. But anyway, he's just here playing like a zither or something, some kind of strange plucked instrument, and he is mysterious as hell. Also voiced by Tom Hanks. What is this guy's deal, Gareth? Can you please explain to me what is going on with the hobo guy? Because I don't know.
I was literally just about to ask you the same thing, which is really annoying. I was like, oh, James will get it. It'll be fine.
No.
Like, that's the issue with this film, is it's inventing new Christmas mythology.
Yeah.
And there's already too much Christmas mythology. Like, you can't insert the magical homeless person who claims to be the king of the North Pole.
He does.
And turns into snow whenever, like,
spectral
anything...
snow or something, yeah. Maybe he's the spirit of Christmas, he like in literal sense, because he talks about that, potentially. But that's a theory, but he's it's unexplained why he has the same voice as the conductor and Santa Claus, obviously. He has like some magic to him, but he's just completely unexplained. I do love this kind of character in stories and film. This like person who seems to exist outside of the plot and sort of appear whenever they're needed and can comment on things like this. Sort of like a magical genie kind of type. But like is mysterious and is never explained. I do kind of enjoy that character usually. It's just, I was just trying to work him out the whole time, but I like his energy.
Yeah, I was waiting. I thought like, oh, last shot's gonna explain it. Like, okay, end of the credits, gonna explain it.
No.
Nah.
His last shot is wild as well.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's
sorry.
listed on the PolarExpressFandom.com as the main antagonist, which I think is
What?
interesting.
What? He doesn't do anything to stop any of this. Like, I don't think he's evil at all. I think he's, like, helpful. He's benevolent as a spirit, if anything. Anyway, yeah,
I feel like
he's just living his life.
If the Polar Express was a video game, he'd be he'd be the guy who teaches you the controls and maybe like appears in your main menu. Like, you go back to him.
You'd be in like a spectral version of the train car, and you'd be learning how to jump, and he'd be explaining it to you, and then you'd be suddenly back with the train car full of kids, and you'd be like, "Whoa, what the fuck was that?" And no one will comment on it. And you'll have zither music playing the entire time.
And when they release Polar Express go-kart racing, he'll be the one when your go-kart falls off the train that pulls you back on magically, but it costs you a bit of time.
Yeah, he takes a big sip of his sludge and then brings you back on the train. Oh, man. Amazing. Because all the go-karts are also on a train.
Yeah. That goes without saying. There's a level on top of the train, a level in the dining cart.
Yeah.
A level under the train.
There's one level on the North Pole which is everyone's favorite because it's not on a train.
Yeah. There's a fun level where you're just riding on a ticket. That's good. It's just very basic.
Yeah,
just go
that's
back and
like
forth.
Final Destination of the Polar Express go-kart video game.
Yeah.
Which we're making.
Let's get this kickstarted.
Yeah, where's that? Where's Polar Express carts for the PS5 and Xbox One, Gareth? I need to know. Anyway, he's just sort of chilling up here, having a cup of joe and claiming, as you say, that he's the king of the North Pole, which, like, is he? I don't know. It calls into question as to whether or not all the characters played by Tom Hanks are the same person. Because that could be true. Like, they could be all, like, part of this kid's psyche or something.
Yeah. They're all meant to teach him different elements of the meaning of Christmas.
Right? That would make sense. But it's not fully clear. But I don't know. Anyway, he tells him to put his ticket in his shoe. And he does that. And then the kid asks if Santa's the king of the North Pole. And the hobo sort of like mocks him. He just like pulls this Santa hat out and starts doing a long Santa laugh. Doesn't say either way, but questions the kid if what he thinks of Santa. And the kid is like, I want to believe. And he finishes the sentence saying, but you don't want to be bamboozled. You don't want to be tricked. Which is a fair way of thinking. I think that's like how most kids would feel about it at that age. They would say that, like, they want to believe in Santa. Santa's great. Everyone wants to believe in Santa, but they don't want to be fooled or tricked by anyone. They hate that. Kids hate being tricked.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing that magicians get anywhere.
Right?
Yeah.
And ventriloquists.
Yeah,
also
right.
Tricking you.
Yeah. You better be a bloody good ventriloquist, because otherwise there's going to be kids being like, shaking their heads at you. I see your mouth moving, puppet boy. But yeah, he also says, so the hobo says, seeing is believing as well, which is an evocative phrase for it's surrounding Christmas. I think that's like pretty wild. I guess that's an antagonist move. But it's sort of just ethereal and strange. He doesn't do anything like evil throughout the whole movie, so I don't know. I wouldn't call him an antagonist.
Nah.
Yeah. He does sort of convince the kid that it is a dream as well, though. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. Seeing is believing is also a Skux line for this film, which is, everyone complains about how it looks and how that takes you out of it.
Yeah. Pretty sweet read. He's the antagonist to the, like, filmmaker.
Yeah.
That's why it says that on the wiki. It's like, this bloody character, I couldn't get them in line. Anyway, so he heads off to, like, find the girl. and comes back with before he heads off, he asks the kid if he believes in ghosts, and he says that he doesn't, and he's just like, interesting, and then heads into the fog, which is powerful ghost content. Love that. And yeah, he like tries to wake himself up as we go into the chorus of Us and Them, the like dramatic chords coming in for that, you know. And yeah, the hobo returns with skis on his feet, and he's ready to do like this excellent maneuver that he has planned. They have to get to the engine, is what he says. I love that he describes he's like, he uses a lot of like idioms, this character, and so does the conductor actually. But he's like, that skirt that you're chasing must have gone up ahead, which is like, that kid's not gonna know what that means. And he also says like, grab my lily for his hand as well, which is pretty wild. Yeah, just so many of these like little throwaway lines.
I have to confess, I did look closer at his hand to see if he was carrying a lily. I was not ready for that slang.
Oh, it's good stuff. I liked it. They're like well researched, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So they've got to do this maneuver because they're about to go to Flat Top Tunnel, which is a tunnel that has only an inch clearance above this train. So incredibly dangerous. I don't think that is safe for the Polar Express. They should really sort out Flat Top Tunnel for future trips, because they make this trip yearly. You might want to sort it out. You've got time. Send some elves down to sort out Flat Top Tunnel. Just put a little bit of headroom on there. Don't know. Seems smart. Anyway. So yeah, the train like becomes this like long ski strip effectively on top of it, where they are going up a hill and they nearly fall off the back, and then they start descending, and the train starts descending, and so do they, as if it's a large ski slope, and jumping between the carriages. And yeah, the last minute, just before they hit this tunnel entrance, which looks like a mouth made with like icicles, classic, very reminded me of like Speed Racer, that bit.
Yeah.
And then yeah, like jumps at the last minute to land in the coal car behind the engine. And yeah, the hobo guy is nowhere to be seen. He jumped at the same time, but he just like disappeared. So yeah. And yeah, he goes and walks out of the coal, completely unmarked by the coal, by the way. Yeah. You'd expect this kid to be covered in soot. No, not at all. Not a scratch on him, nothing. No dust will touch this child, Gareth.
As it is written.
Yes, and he comes into the carriage, and who should be here but the hero girl, who's just sort of sitting in the chair, driving the train, left in charge by the engineers, who we get a cutaway to and are fixing a light bulb on the front of the train because that's come loose or something. These two guys are played by the same voice actor, and this was his last role before he died.
Yeah.
He's a like very prolific voice actor, and a great actor. So shout outs to you. Yep.
Yeah.
Good job in this film too. I liked both of these guys. They're like an engineer with like a long orange beard and long hair, and then like a completely bald, portly engineer as well. I like them both. They don't have many lines, but they're good.
Yeah,
fun.
Restrained use of two big characters, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So Hero Boy pulls on the whistle of the train, which is the thing that is fun. Have you done that before in your life? He says I
have not.
He says it's something that he's always wanted to do. I've never even thought about doing it.
No, never. This kid his main character traits are skeptical about Christmas and wants to pull on things on trains. Like he wants to pull the emergency brake, he wants to pull the whistle.
Pull levers, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a cat. He just like way too much curiosity for his own good. Skeptical and curious at the same time.
Yeah.
The worst. Oh my god. But yeah, anyway, so the engineers they repair the light, and then they see something out on the tracks in the distance, and they're like, "Oh shit!" They call out to they don't say that because this is a kids movie, but they call out to the kids, and they're like, "Pull on the brake, stop the train!" And Hero Boy's stoked because he has to pull on another lever, but he just needs to know which one. And they debate. The hero girl can't make a decision as to which one she remembered was the brake lever. She's pretty sure it was one of them, but fucking the hero boy says, "Are you sure?" And she doubts herself and just sort of covers her eyes based on this, which is an important interaction for both these characters. So yeah, pretty good. And yeah, so he eventually does side with her and pulls on the one she said to pull on, which was correct. She shouldn't have doubted herself. And Pink Floyd sing at the end of Us and Them, the old man died. Even though the old man thankfully didn't die, because he's on front of the train and nearly gets rammed by a caribou who's out here on the tracks. And yeah, there are loads of caribou all over the place, just chilling out, and the conductor comes back into the engine room to fucking scold these kids once more. He's like, "Stop!
As he loves.
Stop stopping my damn train!" And then they go out front to see all these caribou, and there's a good bit where the conductor's like, they pull on the engineer's beard, and he acts like a sort of train whistle kind of guy with his screams of pain. And the caribou take this to mean get off the track and like bleat back at him, and then they all move off the tracks.
This is a scene that is completely lost when you can't hear it, when you're just listening to Any Color You Like by Pink Floyd.
It's very strange.
Trying to figure out if it was his beard hanging in front of the light and it was supposed to be turning red, like Rudolph's, the red-nosed reindeer's eponymous red nose.
That would have been good.
And I was like, okay, but then why do the reindeer fear it? Do the reindeer fear Rudolph?
Yeah, no. So he lets out like a loud like call, very similar, like hearing it like without the Floyd makes it make a lot more sense.
Okay.
They basically make the same sound back at each other, except that one is the screams of a man, and that's exactly what a caribou sounds like. That's just a sweet fact. There we go. I'm slowly turning into that which I hate. Anyway. But yeah. So the conductor and the kids hang out on the front of the train for no real reason. They're just sort of out here being like, well, I guess they're making sure they don't run into more caribou, potentially, actually, now that I think of it. And the engineers are back driving the train, but they lose a pin, the cotter pin, which I have no idea if it's a real train thing, probably. Falls out and means that the train is rapidly accelerating and cannot stop. It's a real speed situation. And we go into a full-on roller coaster experience. Now, you said earlier that this movie would make a great roller coaster midway like visual, where you're strapped into a seat at Warner Brothers Movie World. Wholeheartedly agree. This is the first of what I would think would be 4 of these sequences of just like going way too fast. There's a lot of this. I think that's most of the excitement of the movie The Polar Express is just roller coasters and slides, you know?
Yeah.
Which,
and I'll say, like, if you're in a quarantine and you can't go to theme parks at the moment, it's a good little, fill in the gaps. It's a good way to, get your heart racing.
It does feel like going on a roller coaster. It was pretty cool, but, strange. It's for sure in this movie, but, I'm okay with it.
The trick is just stand outside your house for a really long time and then finally get in and watch that scene. And then once that scene's over, go stand outside again for a long time. Yeah. And then once you're in, watch
the next
scene
one
again. Yeah. Then walk to your neighbor's house and watch the next roller coaster scene.
Yep.
after standing outside for a long time, and then pay way too much for a hot dog, and you're good to go.
Yeah. To be delivered by Uber Eats. It's the same.
Yeah.
That's the same experience almost.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, man. Anyway, so they do this roller coaster sequence, and then they land on like a enormous frozen lake. I'm not entirely sure how this is supposed to be here, because the train tracks go underwater under this frozen lake area. So in the summer, I guess this train only ever is used in the winter, but how could this have happened where maybe like a river was diverted and then froze and covered the tracks? But I don't know.
Yeah.
The train had to make its travel down from the North Pole at some point, though, so surely they're aware of this ice zone. I don't know.
That's a good point. They would have just made this trip, right? Unless, does it come up from the South Pole or from some other destination and then go there?
Good point, actually. Maybe there's a station on the South Pole and they just work their way up the globe, collecting people as they go. And then once they stay in the North Pole for that one night and then come back and stay in the South Pole for the rest of the time. Maybe.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Doesn't explain the like extensive train station that we see at the North Pole, but that's fine.
Maybe it gets used for other stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah. Scrimbleshanks gets a go.
Yeah, he's out there.
Snowpiercer gets to use it.
Oh, no.
Snowpiercer's not the name of a character, by the way.
Oh, John Snowpiercer, founder of the Snowpiercer. As the train to Busan leaves that station.
Yeah.
This is full of zombies, that one. It's not good.
Hey, are trains scary?
Absolutely,
right?
yes. Usually, well, like, especially in film, right? Like, the trains have a long-standing history of being sinister in film, ever since that one from the very early cinema where people just saw this train leaving the station and thought that it was going to come through the screen and crush them to death. Like, it's this long-standing fear that just pervades all of cinema. Probably not going to have a good time on a train, just if you're in a film. Fun fact. This is the key the key is to get drunk.
Yeah. The only way to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one got drunk and train comes towards theatre, and no one was getting drunk on Snowpiercer. Well, actually, I think the rich people were.
Probably, yeah.
Have you heard of the, this is some bit of a modern video game news. Have you heard of Choo Choo Charles?
I have heard of Choo Choo Charles, yes. Upcoming Steam title, Choo Choo Charles, in which you are a train conductor on a cursed island or something, and a large animate train with spider legs chases you down and tries to kill you. Looks great.
Yeah, I discovered about this game, Choo Choo Charles. It showed up on my YouTube recommendations in between selecting this film and watching this film, and it definitely coloured my entire experience.
Yeah. There you go. Yes, I'm quietly looking forward to Choo Choo Charles. I'll probably play it.
Yeah,
and report back at some stage. So there you go.
Please do. Yeah. Play it while listening to Pink Floyd and really.
Oh yeah, complete the experience. Yeah. So they land on this frozen lake / river, and I do like the visual of this train like skidding across the ice and losing control, like Tokyo drifting this train. And the pin that they were trying to grab like falls out the window and slams into the ice, starting to like crack it and break it apart. Pretty scary. The train is like threatening to fall over, and the young hero girl starts falling off, and they have to like form a human chain to try and grab her and bring her back on the train. And the hobo materializes behind him, like behind the hero boy, and grabs his back to pull them back on. And then he full on disappears. We didn't see this happen before, but he like turns to snow with his hand like hanging in the air and transforming last. Very scary, really. I can see like young children being scared of this like ghost hobo. But yeah.
Yeah. Which, isn't okay. Like, we talked about it in our Tokyo Godfathers episode, our other Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Like, that there's already an unfair stigma to the way the homeless are treated. To then also present them as, creepy, magical
Christmas
beings
ghosts.
who are the antagonists in Christmas.
Yeah.
Make it the true villain of Christmas. Make it a huge department store that vanishes into snow.
That would have been great. The one they rode past. Yeah, it turns out they're the villains. Yeah, that would have been much better.
Yeah.
I don't think he's like sinister. I like him a lot. I want to know more about him. That's all. He frustrates me, and I like him. But yeah,
yeah. Oh, wait for that cart video game for the true facts.
Yes, we're riding our train cart as it is skidding across the ice, and it weirdly works quite well with brain damage as we start just trying to evade this cracking ice underneath them. Like it's the ice is starting to rupture and the train is threatening to fall into the water, killing thousands of children. It starts like reversing and then rotating around. Also, as an added bit of drama for no real reason, the girl's ticket starts flying away again.
That ticket.
I was like, that not really needed. It was already pretty heightened that everyone's life is threatened. But sure, they managed to grab the ticket, and we go into eclipse as they barely make it onto the tracks and through this pass of sheer ice shelf in the distance. And she gets her ticket punched by the conductor because he's like, oh, you've got your ticket after all. And then he punches an LE into it. Same as bloody know-it-all kid. So whatever code this guy's cracking is pretty messed up. Oh my God, I've just got a message on my phone, Gareth, that I'm interrupting the pod. Here in eclipse, because apparently outside the window currently there is a total eclipse of the moon, and I have to investigate.
Okay. Should we both just live go look at our windows?
I'm going to do that right now, and then we'll come back. Okay. I'm going to... Here we go. Come with me, listeners. I'm looking out the window.
I'm also walking through my house.
Whether or not this audio is usable... Oh, there is. It looks great. I don't think I'll be able to get a good photo, but I'll try.
Okay, I'm taking my recording outside. I cannot see the moon.
You didn't have visibility on the moon?
No.
I did. I can confirm there was an eclipse.
Whoa.
An eclipse. While we were talking about eclipse, there was eclipse in real life, Gareth.
It's our first real life sync. A sync.
I think so.
As the show goes on, life will slowly begin to sync more and more with Dark Side of the Moon.
Incredible. I'm very happy with that. I tried to take a picture. It looks awful. If you've ever tried to take a picture of the moon, you can't.
Yeah.
on your phone, it's impossible. No one's photographed the moon ever. I'm pretty sure.
No one knows really what the moon looks like. We were just guessing.
Dark side or light side. Oh my God. But yeah, isn't that wild? Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Had to interrupt the show for that. I'm very happy to have received that message. So we're in eclipse as the kids they get their ticket punched, and as we get the final lines of eclipse, sun is eclipsed by the moon. We see we pull into the kids on top of the train, and behind them is an enormous full moon.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, that's real good. It's glorious, right on cue as well, as we finish up our first playthrough, because we're scaling the mountains, going up towards this long bridge, and then it's just framed by this glorious moon. Great stuff.
Yeah. Official sync.
Official sync of
arguably better than the real life one.
Probably. I don't know if you may want to cut that out. I don't know.
No way, man.
Okay, sweet.
That's what's going to finally win us a podcast award.
Oh, I hope so. So we go down into the terrifying heartbeats between plays, and inside the train once more as we make our way back to the cabin full of kids, and we've got to pass through the fucking refurbished, recycled toy zone. Full of puppets. Why is it that every movie that we've watched recently just has scary puppets in it? Don't know what is happening.
Yeah, always the puppet room as well.
Yeah.
My theory is every film has a room full of puppets in it. It's only some films that open the door.
Yeah, everyone has to record it. It's like part of Hollywood's contracting.
Yeah.
You've got to record a scene with some spooky puppets in a puppet room. Whether or not you use that footage, it's just like you got to devote one day to the puppet room.
Yeah. It's always the same puppet room as well, but the puppets always change.
Yeah. The puppets just have the best union, I think, and that like they just get all the gigs. You just need them, you know? Man, that's good representation law for puppets. Anyway. The young hero boy gets tormented by a Scrooge puppet who is hanging from the ceiling and being piloted by a hobo ghost friend, again using Tom Hanks's voice. Like tormenting him and saying that he's a doubter. As soon as he says doubter, breathe kicks in. We get like he's like doubting the magic of Christmas, effectively, just like Scrooge. He's comparing the two characters like pretty clearly. And yeah, as you do when you're confronted by a puppet addressing your insecurities, he runs away terrified. It's back to the train car full of singing kids, and yeah, they're hanging out here, and he's looking for the hero girl who has gone to visit the lonely kid at the back, who is just singing to himself like a mournful Christmas song.
Yeah.
About having no friends and how Christmas is no fun for him and how Santa never visits him. And she comes in with her verse on the same song, saying how great Christmas is if you share it with friends, which I think is rude as hell.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. But anyway, they have a wee song together, and the song's fine. It's not amazing. It's not like a Disney banger, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Or anything. How were your thoughts on it? Did you like it? Like the track?
It's to me, honestly, as you know, my trained music critic ears, it sounded a lot like "Breathe" by Pink Floyd. That's fair.
That is fair.
Yeah.
Very true.
Ooh, yeah.
Because that's what we're getting for real. We're getting the real Floyd coming through. And yeah, the lights in the sky work for "Breathe" by Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
There's like nice like fireworks coming through. I like that.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah. And yeah, also the Northern Lights come in for the end of their song, and that works with "Breathe" too. Lighting up the North Pole in the distance as well, which is this like we see lights of like a large city. And yeah, as they start going through this sort of brick factory town of the North Pole, where all the elves work or whatever, going through archways and things like that, we get the Polar Express theme tune in earnest, which is this bouncy tune, and it's awful. I hate this tune. If you listen to it like too much, I feel like you'd go mad, because like these kids are singing it on the train, so they'd be singing this all the time, and it's not fun. It's like da 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 da, like that kind of thing. Yeah, too much. So I was blessed to not hear it in my Pink Floyd listen, and so were you.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Fun note as well, as we're traveling through this town, all the clocks say 5 to midnight as well, which is sweet. It was 5 to midnight when we left, and it's still 5 to midnight now. It's 5 to midnight for the whole film. Which is great.
I like that kind of stuff. Take that, Interstellar.
Exactly. Oh man. Yeah, so the elves are apparently gathering at the center of town for Santa's arrival and for the first gift of Christmas, Gareth, which is again new Christmas law that Santa will give a lucky child aboard the Polar Express the first gift of Christmas. It's okay.
Yeah. It doesn't even sound that good. Like, I don't know.
It's a big deal, I guess. Like, you get the first gift. Being the first for something is, at least all the YouTube commenters really love it. So, like, there must be something to it.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, some families open a present on Christmas Eve, so no matter what, they've beaten this child.
It's the first Christmas gift given by Santa of the season, I suppose.
Yeah.
So it's all about like getting close to the big man, really. I think.
Yeah. Winning his favor.
The honor of Santa himself. But anyway, we see the elves outside the car making their way to the center. And yeah, they're dressed like fully in red. We don't really get a good look at them, but they are even more upsetting face-wise than the children. Just like because they've decided to take what they had, which was unsettling, and then heighten those features to make them more elf-like. Bold choice. Doesn't help. It's
interesting because it's, I guess, pushed it further away from the uncanny valley, but into a kind of worse valley, like the elf swamp next to the valley.
The elf swamp. Oh, don't take me to the elf swamp. There's a train that leads there as well, but no one goes there. Elves come from there, but we never go there.
No, even the elves don't want to go back. That's why they try to get these jobs with Santa.
They all come here, so we do get the crash sound in On the Run as the train comes to a halt here at the enormous tree in the town square. An unreal sync. It was like right on there.
Yeah,
like it kind of, that one freaked me out as well. We've had like a lot of pretty near perfect syncs here,
right?
Which is it's scaring me a lot.
This would be more troubling for like someone who's maybe like quite a big fan of the show and is like, oh shit, if this is syncing and I have to watch this thing.
Yeah, that's the issue for them. Sorry, listeners. We'll see. If we give this a 10 out of 10 and then apologize. Oh, man. So we've got the lonely kid who doesn't want to go and see Santa, and you're not required to see Santa. If you don't want, if you made the whole bloody journey, and you don't want to see Santa, you can hide out in the train like a little wuss. You can do whatever you want. And so the other kids, the two heroes go and get him, go to like convince him, and the clocks go off as the hero boy uncouples the train car from the rest of the train, and like. It's like in order to do this, he must have like incredible weight behind his foot. Like uncoupling a train car, it gotta be harder than this, than an 8-year-old stepping on a lever. Like, I don't know. I don't know much about trains, but anyway.
Maybe when the viewer does their watch of this, is just watch it pretending this child has one really heavy foot.
It's got the club foot.
Yeah.
You know? But
a really strong leg to kind of balance it out.
One powerful leg. Oh my gosh. He's going to be good at the high jump. Just spring up. But yeah, so they try and convince this kid to come along, and he doesn't really like make a decision in any way because the train starts rolling backwards and we get another like full-on roller coaster sequence where this train is just rolling down a hill backwards. The hero tries to go and find the emergency brake, and the hobo guy is just up there like, oh, take a break, have a Kit Kat, like have a cup of Joe, and hanging out on the edge of the train, like up on the roof, and he gets slammed against the he gets slammed against the tunnel's edge and disappears into snow again. And we see him one more time after this. Like, that was, for all intents and purposes, his last interaction with the protagonist. Bizarre.
So weird. I jumped a little when he turned into that snow. It's a little too violent.
Oh, he is gone. The fact that his cup and stuff stays real, as well, it's like, what? Anyway, he manages to turn the wheel, putting on the brakes, and the train comes to a stop on this, I don't know what these are called, but it's like a lazy Susan for trains, where the trains go to sleep at night in their little train houses, like in Thomas the Tank Engine. Okay, you know what I'm talking about, listeners.
Yeah, the train house.
Yeah, the little train houses. And they get off the train and they're like, oh crap, what do we do now? And the girl and the lonely boy can both hear a distant bell in the background, but we, the audience, and the hero cannot hear this. And there are no subtitles in case you're listening to Pink Floyd. So just a note, there are no bell sounds for this, importantly. Yeah, so he's like, I can't hear nothing. And then they're going after this bell because that's clearly the right way to go. Again, I think the hero's like, are you sure that's the right way to go? Are you sure, guys? Are we sure about this? And then they cross this suspended track. This was upsetting to me. They have to do a tightrope walk along the train tracks to get back there. I do like that this is the second Christmas movie in a row where people have walked along train tracks. That's good.
Yeah.
Just a nice duality there.
To the Christmas legends.
Yeah, the Christmas legends. Shout outs to all my Christmas legends. You know who you are.
That's going to be my Christmas card for people this year.
Yeah.
Hey, you're a Christmas legend.
That's real good. Oh, man. But yeah, so there's a weird moment of tension on this catwalk where the girl doubts herself again, but then presses forward. And she doesn't doubt herself again for the rest of the movie. They enter this corridor of foreshortening jokes with straight out of Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, with that one hallway that gets really small. Just the exact same thing here. It's cool. I don't know if it works as well in CGI because it's already not real. So
yeah, you don't have that sense of, oh my god, they actually built this, or you don't feel your eyes being tricked the same way.
No, it's just yeah, it's already not very real. We're dealing with Santa's magic, So, but anyway, they press on and go into this large control room where the last of the elves are finalizing Santa's delivery list. There's an enormous globe in the middle and a tower of televisions hanging above it, showing all sleeping children on them. With names underneath, which is all right. I guess that's how it would work. It does sort of get into the minutiae of how Santa operates this movie, which is interesting. The elves are debating this one last child, bloody Stephen. He's been put on trial, Gareth, for sticking gum in his sister's hair, and whether or not he is naughty or nice is to be determined by the elves in government power here. Thoughts? Present your case for Stephen.
I'm going to say, and I don't know much about gum in here. The most experience I have is the 22 Short Tales About Springfield episode of The Simpsons, where Lisa gets gum in her hair. But the hijinks that causes, you don't want to have to deal with that.
No.
So
he's off the list.
Yeah, this is naughty list material.
Yeah. Okay. I would 100% agree. Don't do this. Rude move. Stricken from the good list, I would say. But again, these elves are last minute. They're like, this is the last guy on the list. We'll give him one shot. We'll let him slide this one time, but put him on a check twice list next year. I did like that line.
Yeah,
I thought that was real clever. And yeah, we go into Great Gig, and the elves are like, "We've got to get out of here. We're all done. Let's go to the square. We'll take the pneumatic," and they hop into a pneumatic tube, and and a shot to the to the square. This is not used for anything other than elf transport, as far as I can tell. But hilarious. It's like a giant like mail room, I guess, with pneumatic tubes. Have you ever seen pneumatic tubes in full operation?
Not for their real use.
No.
I've seen it like repurposed for things, but
Okay.
yeah, I remember. They were in something I watched as a kid, and it like flipped me out, that idea that you could do that. Yeah. How about yourself?
Yeah, like same as you. I've seen them not for their real purpose, but I saw one not in operation, but that's about it. You know.
Okay.
Not too exciting.
No.
Anyway.
What's your favorite kind of tube?
Oh, it's got to be Calippo, the ice block that is tube shaped and is lemon flavored. That is a quality tube.
Yeah, correct. That is a
also
good tube.
YouTube. YouTube's a strong tube.
Yeah.
Yeah, big fan of that.
I think YouTube has some bad points, whereas the Calippo, it's all good. It doesn't reach the heights of YouTube, but it's more consistent.
Like Choo Choo Charles recommendations. So yeah, sometimes it gets there, but
Calippos have very rarely suggested horror games for me.
Yeah, fair enough too. But yeah, so the kids hop in this pneumatic tube, and we get like the third roller coaster sequence of the movie where they're just being propelled forward. We don't really see much. It doesn't last very long. This one,
it's got a similar
short
vibe to the old the scary boat in old Willy Wonka. So yeah,
same
there.
Again. Like, is this like a call out? Like, I guess they're both factories, but like, I don't know. It seems strange. This is the second call out we've had to him. Oh well. But yeah, they hop out like dazed in the next bit, and they find this like large wrapping station with like wrapping paper hanging from the ceiling and a large conveyor belt in the middle. And they're like, oh, the conveyor belt has arrows on it. The hero boy is like, oh, let's go this way. And so they do. But it just sort of leads them to a maze of conveyor belts. And he's like, oh, that's not what I wanted. And the little boy, there's one last present coming down the conveyor belts, and it's for Billy. Everyone knows Billy. It's the lonely kid guy here. It's so weird that he gets a name. I guess he only gets one because he receives a present, and presents have people's names on them. I think that's the only reason why.
Yeah. I don't know. If they wanted to be more, I guess, graceful about it, they could have done a, like, he picks it up and we don't see the label, and he's like, oh, it's for me.
Yeah. So he's like, I think I know what it is as well. And he, like, grabs hold of it and does not let go. He loves this present and will die for it. And yeah, it starts going down this chute, and so Billy follows through the chute, and the kids chase after him, and they are sliding down this enormous slide, like a huge water slide kind of thing, going down into this enormous funnel, which is a little bit sinister with Great Gig playing over it, a little bit dark.
Absolutely.
Just kids rolling down an enormous metal funnel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, don't love it. Yeah, but they fall through the eye of the funnel and into a giant pile of presents. And Billy wants to open his present early, but he won't do it because it's labeled "Do not open before Christmas." And I love that the hero boy like comes in. He's like, "Yeah, those are the rules." Like, he loves rules. This kid. Weird trait that he's the one to be like, "Yeah, don't open it.
Yeah,
can't. That's the rules."
The boy who's like so skeptical of Christmas is like, well, we have to obey all of the Christmas rules, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. So the present pile gets like moved on like a robotic track or something to an area below a large target painted on the ceiling with a hole, an aperture in the middle. And rockets fire up through this hole with strings attached and are connected to something that we can't see. And a big sack is gathered around the presents, like it envelops them and lifts them up into the sky as we are going into money. Like being lifted into the sky surrounded by presents by an enormous zeppelin. That's pretty money.
Yeah, that doesn't know how money that is, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's very money.
Yeah. This like double zeppelin contraption. Pretty cool. And they are trying to they're getting lifted up and just looking out over the North Pole. And then Billy suddenly gets like pulled into the presents by an unknown force. But it turns out that it's only bloody know-it-all kid.
Yeah.
That one kid who fucking sucks again, who's just been following them, has found his presents and opened them early. Like, he's like, oh, I found one. I wanted to make sure that I got everything on my list. And I found one of my presents, but it was just underwear. And like, fuck this guy. There are no consequences for this in the movie at all. Like, he disobeys one of the Christmas rules. Nothing happens. One of the elves tells him that he's not supposed to be there, but that's it. Like, there is no... This kid, like, has not learned anything, but we'll see that later as well.
So, like, old mate Roger Ebert gave this film 4 out of 4 and said, like, it carries the creepiness that great kids' films have, like, again, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
That's true.
But, like, yeah, this kid is asking to be Willy Wonka. This kid is asking to possibly be murdered, possibly, like...
Yeah.
To learn some weird lesson that Roald Dahl's a real stickler for. And he just gets away with it.
You are right on the money. He is big Mike TV energy, this kid. He needs comeuppance coming at him fast. But he gets nothing. He's in the wrong film.
Yeah.
Damn it.
That's the thing. Like, I don't actually believe children should be punished by a purple-dressed man and his small orange friends, but if he's in a movie that would do that, and yet he's wandered on into Polar Express unasked.
Yeah, I believe that if any kid should, it's this one.
Yeah.
If anyone is going to walk into a Roald Dahl-style punishment, it's this kid. Okay?
What if the upcoming prequel is just Timothée Chalamet as Willy Wonka punishing this one child over and over?
That would be very dark. Yeah. Oh my lord. Oh man, the prequel where he just gets a penchant for punishing kids.
Yeah,
and he's like, I know what I'll do. I'll open a chocolate factory and that way I'll find all those bad kids and punish them. Ugh. Don't like it.
I think you've hit the nail on the head with what that prequel's going to be.
Maybe. Yeah, could be.
Like, in Cruella, how, like, you see Dalmatians actually... she's not outright cruel to Dalmatians in the movie, but, like, you see that a Dalmatian did hurt her. Like, it's Timothée Chalamet getting, like, hurt by a child and being like, I'll get all children now.
Getting hurt by a child.
Yeah.
Oh, no. He just, like, trips over one. He's like, how dare you, boy? Oh, I like it. We'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm no doubt watch it. And yeah, I'm just annoyed that this kid has no consequences, but whatever. So we're coming in on the blimp to the square to drop this large sack of presents off. A couple of elves do some like parachuting off, showing their prowess. And the sack like brushes up against the star at the top of the tree, which tumbles off incredibly slowly. And a bunch of elves dive down. There's some goddamn Point Break elves, like, jumping from the plane to high stakes catch the star. Incredible. They stop it, like, completely obliterating this one elf at the bottom. He would have been dead for sure. Just pulped on Christmas Eve.
By the very symbol of Christmas.
Whoa, what a way to go.
Yeah.
Oh, what a fitting end for an elf, though. Damn.
Yeah, that's what all elves want when they grow up in the elf swamp.
Yeah, they return to the swamp.
Yeah. I will say the Gilded Star of Christmas falling and plummeting to Money by Pink Floyd is a strong sync.
Very powerful. Exactly. Over the Money solo as well.
Yeah.
Just ripping away as this like slow motion star falling. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, they drop the sack off and the star is replaced and everything's fine. And the kids are escorted to the ground by some elves who are standing atop each other's shoulders. Like, elf height compared to 8-year-old kid height is 2 to 1. So there you go. They're bloody short, these elves. But so it goes. So I feel like there's varying degrees of elf height out there in media. So these are some little boys, some little folks.
Someone should, and I don't want it to be me, is take all the popular depictions of elves, everything from Lord of the Rings to Elf itself, Elf on the Shelf, and like work out the average of the heights, like just the, I guess, median.
Yeah. I like that. The average elf. Yeah.
But before that can happen is we have to make our movie where Santa's really, really big. The elves would have to be pretty big as well. So we've got to be there to throw it off a little. Yeah,
they're like horrible gremlins that are like 20 foot tall or something in our movie. We're throwing off the average massively like we usually do. Oh, man.
Like we do with our podcast ratings.
Hey, got there. They're all 5s, baby. No. So the reindeer come out now. All the gang, the classic 8 are here, and they are attached to the sleigh. They're being like hoisting elves off the ground, which I like because they're like flying away with their magical reindeer power. And the elves also bring out these sleigh bell like reins to attach to the reindeer and jangle them. To the delight of the crowd, but again, we cannot hear them, and neither can our protagonist. At this stage, he's still not believing in Santa Claus. He's seen flying reindeer with his own eyes, and he's like, nah, Santa's bullshit. Still. Kid, what more do you need? God damn. Like, the homeless guy said seeing is believing. You are seeing.
Yeah.
Like, even if he is like the antagonist and that isn't meant to be true, that isn't the lesson that you're supposed to take away. Like, this movie is giving you everything and you still are not believing it. Like, come on, dude. Anyway, he's shocked as well. He can't believe it, that he can't hear it. And yeah, it's time for Santa's big reveal as we are getting into Us and Them, and he is coming out, being introduced, and the elves in chorus sing this cover of Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which is a discordant mess, which I'm very glad that I didn't have to hear a second time. It's very like school choir-y, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But anyway,
Have I told the story on the show about my school choir? Well, not school choir, but you know how you just had to sing an assembly at school?
Yeah.
Despite no one telling you the notes. We all, in intermediate school, had to sing We Wish You a Merry Christmas. But someone started hissing at the end of S, and we all got really into it. And they held us back for another, like, 20 minutes into lunch. And we're like, you're not leaving until you sing this properly. But we just kept hissing. Like 200 12-year-olds hissing at you. No wonder you, like,
fair enough,
punishing them.
That'll ruin Christmas. Yeah. Your teacher's on the phone like, call Roald Dahl. Yeah. You've got a code red.
Timothy Chalamet, get in here. We've got some kids to punish.
He comes down on a fabulous rope dangling from a helicopter and just punishes you all.
You're like, hissing, well, this rope is a snake.
Oh, no. A licorice snake. Terrifying. I love the idea of, like, Roald Dahl being part of, like, SEAL Team 6 or something. It's very funny.
Just to take out children.
Yeah.
He had military training, you know.
Oh, well, there you go.
Outside of the realm of possibility.
There we go. Give me that Roald Dahl story.
Yeah.
Yes, so Santa comes out. We see him. He's silhouetted in the doorway. We don't see him properly. We see his outline. And elves and stuff are getting in the way, and we can't get a good look at him. We see bits of him. We see, like, all the symbols of Santa Claus. Again, this would be enough for me. I'd be like, I'm at the North Pole. I saw flying reindeer. I can kind of see a big guy in a red suit with a beard. That's good enough. Like, it could be Frankie Stevens up there, and I'd be like, okay, sure. Like, that's Santa Claus, I guess. That's all good. I believe now.
Yeah, there's enough context clues.
Yeah, right? Like, I don't know. But anyway, he still doesn't believe. Still can't hear the jangling of bells as one of them is pinged off the reins and flies over to him. And he picks it up, and we get a shot from beneath as the hero picks this bell up from like a frozen puddle's perspective again. And yeah, he has a look at it, and he can't hear it, can't hear the jangling. And like he willfully decides to believe in Santa because he just like has a moment to himself, and he's like, I believe. And then he can hear the bell. Like, he wills himself to believe in Santa, which I feel like is an important distinction being made in this movie. Like, you've got to choose to believe in Santa at some point.
Which I guess is correct. I don't know.
I guess so. I don't know what that means as, like, a lesson.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's strange. We'll get to it at the end. But anyway. So he can hear the bell, and he, like, looks into the reflection of the bell and sees Santa staring back at him, and he hands the bell back over to him, and Santa's in all his glory here. He's like vaguely glowing in the movie as well.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit weird.
Yeah, like he could be spectral as well for all we know.
Yeah.
And he gives some like short, kind words to the kids. He rightfully shuts down Know-It-All Kid, who is demanding to be the first present recipient. He's just like, I want the first present. And he's like, you could use some fucking manners, boy. Basically. So good. And yeah, he comes over and chooses the hero boy to receive the first gift. And they go up to the sleigh, and everyone's watching, Gareth. And the kid whispers a little secret in Santa's ear of what he wants for Christmas, and all he wants is the bell. Santa's like, yes, indeed, yes. Here you go, young man, and gives him the bell. And he's like, okay, cool. The conductor comes over and says you should put it somewhere safe, and he only bloody puts it in his pocket that had a hole in it, and I was screaming at my screen.
Yeah, learns
it was like,
nothing.
How dare you, boy? But anyway, he gets told that the bell is a powerful symbol of Christmas, but the true spirit of Christmas lies within your heart, which is some cryptic words from Santa. But there you go. And that's his final parting phrase as he's off to do his deliveries. We get all the like classic Santa stuff for all of Any Color You Like, where he is taking off in his sleigh. He's encouraging his reindeer, naming them. My subtitles that I had got Donna's name wrong and called him Donda. So shout outs to Kanye. Pretty on the money there. But
Donda in stores now.
Yeah. Get the extended edition. It's apparently like way too long.
Yeah, like 30 tracks.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, he makes his grand ascent into the night sky and makes like a final pass over top of the elves, dropping this like weird magic stardust stuff onto them from above. I don't know what this is. And the elves are like very happy. They throw their hats into the air in celebration. Everyone's like, yay. And then the little Billy is saying, could this be a dream? Like at this part, he's like, this could be a dream. And I think it's so weird that he's saying that here. But anyway, it's like this is the part that he doesn't believe.
Yeah, it's a weird like undercut of the whole movie, really.
I think so. It's a strange line to have here. But yeah, so the elves are partying because on stage, Gareth, is fucking Steve Tyler from Aerosmith.
Yeah.
As an elf aboard a unicycle, just singing his heart out, having a rock and roll party for Santa's big day, Christmas Day. Hell yeah.
Weird choice.
Very weird.
Like, no kids, like, in 2004, like, oh, wow, yeah, Steven Tyler's in this movie.
Yeah, right? He looks like Steve Tyler. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Making him into an elf doesn't make him, like... like, if anyone looks like who they are, it's Steve Tyler in this movie. Like, they kind of did a great job. Yeah. With him specifically. I think it's because he just, like, looks a bit like he could be a, like, magical elf. And sometimes, you know?
Yeah. Maybe they accidentally based this technology on Steve Tyler, and then they've had to, like, when they tried to do it to Tom Hanks, it's just where it went wrong.
All the sliders were off. They're all set to see Steve's face.
Yeah.
And that's where it went wrong. That could well be.
I wonder if Steve Tyler and Tom Hanks, like, got to meet.
Interacted, yeah.
Yeah.
They're just in the booth together, maybe.
Oh, yeah. The one person he demands to record his lines with is the one person he doesn't have any lines with.
Yeah. Imagine if he's there for the full table read of this movie, like waiting for this one performance cameo right at the end. Steve Tyler's just sitting there like asleep at the boardroom while Tom Hanks is doing like 6 different roles.
Running from chair to chair to play each child. Each person.
I so badly want that to be true.
Yeah.
But yeah, we go into brain damage for a second time, and the kids are being escorted back to the train for their trip home, and their tickets get punched as they come back aboard the train with the lessons that they should learn effectively, or have learned, or will learn. It's unclear.
Yeah.
Know-it-all kid simply has learn emblazoned on his ticket, and he immediately just thinks this is lean. So proving that he has no fucking idea.
Yeah.
Maybe these are lessons to come. But anyway, he still sucks, even now. Billy gets his ticket to it says rely on, and then as he flips it over, it changes to count on and depend on each time. So I guess his lesson is have friends.
Yeah.
Even though you live away from everybody, you live in this isolated cul-de-sac house with no one around you. Just have friends and don't be a loner. Don't be shy. That's your lesson, kid. Good luck. Yeah. Go with God, sir.
Walk 8Ks in the snow every day to make friends, Billy.
To have a good Christmas, because you won't otherwise. Yeah. That's the lesson. You'll be alone and sad. Yeah. You need to fucking trick it, boy. Get your boots on. Anakin, all right?
Yeah.
Get a move on. You'll never get off this planet this way. Anyway.
And he hates snow. Snow gets everywhere.
It does. It's coarse. Our hero girl gets lead as her ticket punch. Basically, be the leader. Go ahead. Do not. Hers is pretty apropos in that she was bad at making decisions, I guess, or was sort of being gaslit by people around her, and yeah. So she just needs to be more confident in her own decisions and be a leader. So I think that's a reasonable lesson, that one. And Hero Boy's one gets punched right as we hear "I'll see you on the dark side of the moon" at the end of the second play of Eclipse, and his punch card reads "Believe." There you go. So all he has to do is believe. And that's it.
And as we also reach this point in the journey, James, I want to know, what does your punch card say?
Oh,
what's the life advice this episode is teaching you?
That I go forward into the rest of my life with. I think it's emblazoned on it. When I got on the train, it was just WA, and by now it just says water, because boy, I need a bit more water to complete these longer eps, Gareth. I'm a thirsty lad. Or hydrate. Also good. Yeah, I flip it over a couple times. It's just various synonyms for drinking. Get drunk on the train.
Yeah.
Drink on the train is what it says, Gareth. That's my advice.
Nice. You think it's going to say that, but the WA then turns out to be Watto, and it's just, do more Watto impressions.
I can't now. I need water to do it.
No.
Anyway, what does yours say? What is your ticket lesson for this podcast, Gareth?
I've got REM, and I'm like, okay, the 90s band, and then it...
Losing my religion.
And then it turns out to be research the moon, and it's be aware if there's going to be an eclipse, so you don't just run outside with all of your recording gear to not be able to see it.
Oh, there was an eclipse. Can confirm.
Yeah,
at least where I am.
I'm sure there was. I just wasn't looking in the complete wrong direction.
Oh no! Cannot locate moon. It's harder. It's darker, so it's harder to spot.
Very easy to locate the sun.
Very easy. Very easy. It's not where the moon is. Opposite side of Earth.
Yeah.
Anyway. So they all come aboard as we go into our second playthrough of the heartbeats, and all the kids are like, oh, let's see the bell. And he realizes that he's lost it. It's fallen through his bloody dressing gown pocket and is gone forever. And the kids are like, we'll help you find it. It's fine. We'll hop off the train and look for it. And then the train takes off, and they're like, oh, shit.
Guess who won?
Yeah. Pink Floyd can't think of anything to say either, as well, as we just having a terrible time. And we go forward, and Billy is dropped off at his house in the middle of nowhere, and we see he gives an awkward handshake to the guys and hugs the girl. Hugs for girls, handshakes for guys is the rule for young Billy.
Billy.
He needs that. He needs something telling him not to do that punched onto a ticket, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah. But he gets home and says that Santa has already delivered his present that he wanted, that big green one that we saw. So that gives hope to young protagonist as we get we go off to the protagonist's house, and he's given his farewells. He just sort of waves at the know-it-all kid and gives a hug to hero girl, and gets off the train. Because, I would just wave at know-it-all kid.
Yeah. His isn't a sexist decision. His is just to,
it's just I just never want to see you in my life again. And they get out. He goes off the train, and the conductor gives his parting words of advice. He says, the one thing about trains is it doesn't matter where they're going. What matters is deciding to get on. I'm like, is that true? I don't think so. I think pretty much all that matters is, getting on is important for sure, but also you should know which train you're getting on, where you're going. They're that's step 2.
Yeah. I mean, anyone who lives in a city with trains as their public transport has definitely gone on the wrong one, and it's ruined their day.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's not if you've only got one train that you're responsible for, bloody hop on. That's fine. But there are lots of trains in this wide world, conductor man, and they run more than once a year. So I don't think that this is actually good advice. But anyway,
I will say a lot of sentences I speak run by that logic, though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know how they're going to end, but the important thing is that I did just start speaking like an idiot.
A train with no destination, eh?
Old train mouth Blackler.
Trainmouth Blackler. There we go. I like that one. I like that nickname. That's like a very old, like it's like a 1920s nickname. That's what they'd call you in the speakeasies. Trainmouth Blackler.
Don't get him started about the Polar Express.
He's in the his back corner. Will talk your ear off.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, we get in to breathe, and the conductor calls out "Merry Christmas" very loudly, waking up all the neighbors.
Yeah.
And again, this is where we see the homeless guy, the hobo guy. He's up on the roof of the train and gives like a wave, and then again turns to snow. Like, just want to know more.
Yeah. Honestly,
what's his deal?
Just the size of one of those snowflakes, but instead it's just context. That's all we need.
That's all we need. Just a scrap. Just a little snowflake landing on our tongues. That's all we need. Yum 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 yum.
I do feel watching this movie like someone who's never had the cultural mythology of Christmas explained to them, trying to watch like a regular Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much I don't get that the movie's like, no, you get it. The Christmas hobo.
Yeah, you know, the guy who hangs out on top of the train. He's the king of the North Pole, or is he?
Ooh.
No. Yeah, no. It's just it's so many layers of confusion. But shout outs to you. You were my most valuable player in the movie. Just fascinated from start to finish by his presence. But anyway, he heads off to bed and sees that Santa hasn't been to his house. There's the milk hasn't been drunk and the cookies are still intact, etc. And he goes upstairs off to bed, and there's like a slow pull in on the fireplace, and then we cut to the next morning. And Santa has been, and they're playing with toys. And as he gets up to rush downstairs to go and open his presents, he rips the exact same pocket he did last night in the rush, and the marbles spill out all over the floor again. Hey. I think it's like a shot-for-shot match of how the marbles hit the floor as well, which I think is really good.
I mean, it's probably easier for an animation, as they might have just changed the background.
Yeah, fair. You're like economical in terms of animation, if you've animated it once already, but it's also good for the magic story of the film.
Yeah.
But he goes downstairs. He's been given a train set, very good for the movie, and also a terrifying Punch and Judy dolls. These are probably some of Santa's refurbished toys that he's just thrown in with the rest here. I don't know what you do with these dolls, but fair enough. They did get them. And there's one final present under the tree. And he opens it up, and it's only the bloody bell, Gareth.
Yeah.
And he lifts it up, and there's a note from a Mr. C in there saying that he left it, and he should look after it next. And yeah, there we go. I don't remember exactly what the note said.
I'm pretty sure it's that.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. And yeah, he gives a ring of the bell, and he can hear it, and his sister can hear it. And then the parents come in at Peanuts parents. We don't see their faces. And they pick it up and have a go with the bell. And they're like, oh, sorry, that toy must be broken.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry. Oh, well. Sorry about that, champ. And then they go away. So, again, you can't hear it if you don't believe in Santa Claus. And yeah, we get a final monologue from Tom Hanks, adult protagonist Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Where there's a slow zoom on the bell, and he's talking about how over time, all the people in his life, all his friends, and eventually his sister stop hearing the bell, but he never stops believing and never stops hearing it. I don't know how I feel about that. It's very weird ending. It's like everyone sort of moves on with their lives. Except me. And I'm like, and that's painted as a good thing. And it's like, okay,
It is that wonderful thing about children's fantasy where the end is always, I had this amazing adventure unlike anything else.
Yeah.
And I can never talk to anyone about it.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Oh, and having On the Run play out over this is pretty good. Pretty good match in that it's very unsettling, and I feel unsettled at the end of the movie. I'm like, is this a good lesson for kids?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It really depends on if he actually became friends with Billy. If he did and Billy stopped believing, then it gets really troubling.
We don't know how far away they live from each other. Like,
yeah, 5-minute train ride.
I guess so.
And it is a magic train.
Yeah. It's tough. Tough to say.
You know what else is tough? Is we're told about a magical bell. A bell that lets you believe in, the pure good of Christmas,
Yes.
You get to hear something that's magic and that holds on to childhood innocence. And we do not get to hear it because Pink Floyd are playing over.
Yeah.
Like, taking that away from us.
You're so right about that, damn.
Yeah.
Didn't think about it that way. Man.
It really, we went into this thinking Tom Hanks would be the villain. But all along, we've just
We're the villains?
Oh, no, I wasn't ready for that. No, we're great, I'm sure.
Okay, good.
All along, maybe it's never been a villain, it's been a war. Pink Floyd versus Tom Hanks, and we're the real victims, we're the damage that is led, Whoever wins, we lose.
Yeah. That's got to be it. It's an eternal battle between two immovable forces, like it's just no one's going to back down between these two, and we're all suffering for it. But that's all we have to say, really. What did you think, and how did it sink, Gary?
See, I feel bad that now we're feeding to their war, or we're trying to stop it because
I feel like we have to uphold our stance of peace and have to slow down both parties as best we can in the event, like trying to hold back the floodgates of either one becoming too powerful.
Yeah, and honestly, I think we are doing that. We might even be finding their peace because this was a high sink.
Yeah, it scared me how well this worked. It's not perfect.
No.
Like, I'm not comfortable giving this a perfect score because there were missteps throughout, but there was a lot of things that were right on the money, and it scared me. When sinks scare you, put that on the magazine cover. But yeah, it's got to be up there. It's got to be a top tier. Like 8 or 9 territory, I'm thinking. What are you feeling? Yeah?
I'm thinking this is either... I reckon this is just below Moon, so it's on like an 8 and a half kind of level.
8.5. Yeah. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
We did have the real life sync as well, which is pretty nuts.
Well, that's for our longer sub-series where we're syncing real life with Pink Floyd.
Yeah, which I'm doing every day of my life. Yes. So there you go, 8.5 on the graph.
Oh,
Cool.
I've got one last question for you before we find out what we're doing next week.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a film that starred 6 Tom Hankses, and I just want to know, just friend to friend, who's an actor you'd like to see play 6 characters in one film?
Oh, man. So I did think about this. Who has the chops to play multiple characters in a film? And, mate, given the opportunity, it's got to be Adam Sandler. Just see what he could do with it. I feel like that's a novel idea. Just seeing if he could just have a bit of a goof and a gaff with himself. Is the man of many voices.
He got to do one where he played his own sister, but then, the world kind of took that away from him.
Yeah. And what if he played his own family?
Yeah. What I want, how everyone says an Adam Sandler film now is just an excuse for him and his friends to go on holiday?
Yeah.
I want him to have to go somewhere alone, and he's his only friend. Like,
grapple with himself.
yeah,
And a wardrobe full of costumes and a puppet room and nothing else.
Oh, it's not even a film. It's like
it's a documentary.
Yeah, a live stream of him alone in a theater with costumes and puppets.
Yeah. I would watch that. That sounds great, actually. This started off as definitely a joke, but now I'm really into it. What about you, Gareth? What's your 6-man, 1-man performance show?
Just very quickly, can we call that thing a damned Sandler?
Oh, yes. Lock it in.
Yes. For me, it's going to have to be... There's been a hint of it. There's a film called Suspiria where this person plays 3 characters, and the world weren't that impressed, but I was impressed, and I want to see Tilda Swinton playing a whole bunch of characters.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Definitely. I like that. I want to see her mainly play a full council of dark elves in my upcoming Santa as a 200-foot tall Yeti movie.
Hell yeah.
But she just plays every member.
Yeah.
There we
Should
go.
love it. The thing about Tilda Swinton, and we're going to cover a Tilda Swinton film, surely, soon.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think she's the Pink Floyd of people. She loves acting so much that she would love to do that. She would play all those elves and it'd all be different. Yeah. My main thing is I want to see Austin Powers, but it's Tilda Swinton.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She can wear her costume from Snowpiercer for Austin and then her costume from Doctor Strange for Dr. Evil.
Oh my God. I love that idea. She's telling all the same jokes, but no one's reacting. Like, everyone's just like a bit on edge.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
Yes. So look forward to those movies, folks.
Yeah, hitting cinemas near you. All that's left to do is reveal what we're doing next, Gareth.
Yes.
Oh, and I'm moving away from the Christmas spirit. We're doing more of the I don't know. I feel like we need to do another like big hit kind of movie.
Yeah, we've been in the woods of our own. For all we want.
A little bit. Yeah. So we're gonna go for the hits. We're gonna go thick and fast. And we're gonna be punching above our weight, Gareth, because we're gonna be watching Rocky 1.
Oh,
1976 Rocky. Stallone.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yes. I now get the big hit joke that I stepped on.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, wow. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, cool. Oh, well.
St. Floyd, socials. Get at us.
Send us
the Gmail.
your screenshots and we'll tell you if it's Hank or Hutchinson. God, that feels like a million years ago.
Let's do that. Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. Goodness me. And I've been Gareth Blackler.
I've been the spectral ghost of James Barron.
Thanks for listening. And we'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
On the dark side of the moon. Merry Christmas, listeners.
Aww.
Oh, I'm a ghost still.